All right. So, who's got the recap and stuff for this week?
I do.
Oh, I'm interested in hearing. So, you guys go ahead and introduce your characters, and let's get going. We got a lot to do tonight, guys. We got a lot.
Evie, my name is. I played the Batista character, and I am holy.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Paladin.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Wait.
Wait.
What is your name? Xavier. Go ahead.
Oh,
You got to tell us the full name. Don't bullshit us around with that little name.
Batista Xavier Washburn the 14th, human paladin, righteous in cord, prays on Sundays.
Thanks, Abby. You know I had to bust your balls about that name. I like it. It's epic. It makes me want to watch like Braveheart or something.
Zaven, I'm Walian Songsteel, human bard, looking to right wrongs, kill slavers, and bring heroics back to the Forgotten Realms.
And bang Lady Moonfire on the side, but that's another story in another episode.
Triple X version.
Yeah, about 30 seconds long. I'm Evan Thrax. I play Shamash, a Dragonborn fighter that has been carrying this group for quite a while, and I'm going to continue to do it.
He's carrying the group. Nice.
I'm Crumpet. I play Tamanuk, the verbally challenged Goliath shaman. I have a spirit companion named Boo, and I follow Shamash for some apparent reason. And for the recap, we were in the temple of Tiamat, looking for our long-lost friend, the High Shaman Sankasag, who kicked our butts a while back. We ventured through a big cave system. We fought teleporting orcs and ogres, I believe, until we eventually reached the deepest chamber, where we fought two big humps of rotten flesh, and then later on Sankasag himself. After quite a quick battle, we was able to actually bring him down to quite a low HP in total, when Batista
This is awesome.
prayed to his deity Cord to strike with him in unison, and Cord favoured our little paladin on that day, and he brought a gigantic glowing hammer through the roof, crushing the big monolith that Sankasag drew his power from, completely evaporating the High Shaman, as well as a newly resurrected hump of flesh as well. All we could find of the little shaman was his tiny robes. The rest was gone. We then proceeded with getting our loot from a chest we found in a stored away altar room. We got some pretty nice stuff that we all have distributed, and just before we got back to Loudwater, an image of Tiamat appeared, and basically saying that this is not the end and we'll have to face her soon enough. And then a boulder crushed through the back wall, and we did the whole Indiana Jones thing where we just hurried out of the
I figured they would like that part.
temple, basically. And then we got back to Loudwater, talked, grabbed a few drinks, and we're about to set off again.
Yeah, you guys are fixing to set off again. That was a very
Dave?
nice recap as well.
Hey, Dave,
So,
can I
yes?
do a quick English translation of the recap?
Sure.
Now, I'll try to keep it short, but this actually comes out of the journal that we keep. The party gazed into fiery green eyes of their nemesis, the High Shaman Sankasov. Shamash downed a healing potion and threw the empty vial into the wall behind him, shattering it on impact. And with a quick stride, he went onwards to engage the shaman.
Nice.
Sankasog went around the green oozing monolith, keeping the charging dragonborn at bay, and summoned a grand fireball down on the party. The fiery blast evaporated Boom, and Batista rushed out of the fire to face the shaman, swinging his vicious flail,
Yeah, I speak
striking the
redneck.
goblin's side. If you want, I'll go on.
No, feel free to. Was that in the journal?
Yeah.
It didn't sound like that a couple days ago.
It's because I've edited everything.
And I
So-
was hoping you would stick to what's in the journal.
We never have been. But if we want to do a lengthy intro, you can actually go ahead and read the whole bloody thing if you want.
It won't take that long if you don't mind, Dave.
No, you could have already had it read.
The fiery blast evaporated Boom, and Batista rushed out of the fire to face the shaman, swinging his vicious flail, striking the goblin's side. Tominuk walked up towards the battle, summoning Boom back into the fray, and calling upon an auroric spirit to shield Melik from Sankasog's magic. Melik invokes his infernal wrath to strike back at the shaman with thunder and fire. Walian began to sing a song of bolstering magic, and with
Whoa.
great skill, he began to mock his enemy while singing.
God damn it.
With a crushing sound, Shamash's great axe came down upon Sankasog. He had rushed around the great monolith and struck the goblin from behind and off
Jesus
guard.
Christ, this sucks.
Feeling his demise creeping closer, the shaman concentrated his power and launched a set of dark spells onto the party, blinding Melik and searing the flesh of the Goliath. Batista invoked his divine power and banished the darkness that was blinding the tiefling, and then yells towards the High Shaman, "Sankasog, we were not here to fight you. You chose to fight us this time. This is your mistake, and you will pay the price with your life." The following blow from the paladin was dodged by the agile shaman, but Batista was unrelenting and followed him as he ran. A pulse of auroric light broke through the chest of Sankasog as Boom manifested himself in front of him, and with pitch-black eyes fixed on the shaman, a mighty set of thunderous blows struck the goblin from the back. Tominuk and Melik stood side by side, striking in unison against their vile enemy. Walian's song was echoing within the chamber, bringing a glorious atmosphere to the grim battle fought. The High Shaman, furious and realizing that his end might come sooner rather than later, bolstered himself and conjured two mighty spells that burned and blinded nearly everyone in the party. Batista swung into the darkness and felt his flail slip out of his grasp. It struck the floor and slid away from him. Tominuk's skin began to crystallize as he prepared himself for another barrage, and Melik stood fast alongside of the Goliath, waiting and listening. The bard, unaffected by the shaman's blinding magic, stepped forward and raised his voice. His song was on the verge of being deafening as the acoustics of the stone walls carried back his words of bolster. Shamash shook off the blinding magic and swung against the goblin, who threw himself out of harm's way. Momentarily safe from the blind paladin and the raging dragonborn, Sankasog began to mutter dark words, and his eyes took on the same glow as the oozing monolith. The room began to rumble, and near the entrance one of the great hulking heaps of flesh began to rise anew. Tominuk stepped in between Melik and the flesh hulk to try and keep the sorcerer safe, and launches another auroric pulse towards Sankasog. Boom merged with the pulse and engulfed the shaman, freezing his tears as the penguin yet again manifested in front of him with an icy stare. Melik stepped up alongside the Goliath and lets out a scream, crackling with lightning, towards the hulk, burning its rotting flesh. Songsteel, with his deafening voice, commanded a coordinated move by Shamash and Boom. They seemingly danced around the shaman to a song of Walian, and were able to completely surround Sankasab. When he stood there, caged in between the three and the monolith,
Eagle Brett's at
Walian
25.
sang a word of tremendous might, blasting his mind and rendering him dizzy and weary.
If you're going to take the high
Seeing
bid,
his
it's
foe
exclamation
distracted
point
and
bid
surrounded,
space
Shamash
50,
raised his great axe and let it
and
fall
it goes up in
onto the
25
high shaman.
EXP increments.
The force was that of a guillotine,
This will
and the
run
blade
until the end
opened
of
a massive
the
wound
game
on
tonight, guys.
Sankasog's back, and let out a yelp of pain and agony. The flesh hawk lumbered towards the Goliath and Tiefling. It raised its heavy putrid arms above its head and brought them down with a violent slam. The auroric spirit that was protecting Malik struck back against the necrotic golem with a burst of spiritual fire.
Holy
But the
crap,
massive
Heavy!
keep
How
was
much
too
did you
strong.
write? That is awesome.
Shamash took the time to clear his vision. Whoops, okay, that was it. That's all the feather he got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, is somebody there? Hello, hello. Now that was awesome, actually. Nice detail. You did that, Heavy?
No, Crumpert did that, and I was
Oh.
really impressed. That's why I thought I had to share it.
Yeah, that was awesome, guys.
Team effort.
It was
Really
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, it was really nice. He definitely met his match. You guys really kicked his ass. And I felt... I think you guys kind of felt a little vindicated after kicking his ass so bad, because he kicked y'all's ass so bad the first time. So, I think it kind of worked out. So, you guys noticed on your way back, you know, we already talked about this already, but you guys noticed that when you had left the new layer of the High Shaman, you noticed it was actually quite cold outside. And I'm talking to the point to where, I mean, it was almost winter, like a full-blown winter. You know, you get back to, like you had already mentioned that you got back to Loudwater, and Marsh had all given you keys. You have your new penthouse now, which is nice. And I'm going to put you guys on a new map. This is your penthouse. This is a temporary penthouse. This is from one of my old games. But I want to get with you guys. I had made one already, but I want to get with you guys on the creation of it, because I want to see what you guys want for a penthouse. So this is going to be for you guys, and I'm going to put you guys over there real quick. And this is it. And all of your keys work. You get into the actual, you get into your penthouse suite. It's really not that, the decor, there's really not a lot in it. There's going to be a lot more, but if you guys want this, you guys can have this. But I also have another one as well, with a little bit more to it. But you guys would be welcome to have that as well. But we'll go over that later. So, but when you guys get back up to the penthouse, Marsh, shows you where there's basically. This is basically the entire top half of the Green Tankard Tavern, and the tavern itself really isn't that. It's not a large place of establishment. The Fisher's Friend pub in the Dock District, that's actually a little bit larger pub. But nonetheless, this is pretty nice. She informs you that basically the tab on this has been taken care of from the town for everything that you've done. So it seems like you guys have basically gotten back into the good graces of not only the town but of the nobles, and that's what really matters. The town really doesn't know everything that's going on, but that's the way it is in any society. So, but you guys get back up into your penthouse, and you won't be. Yeah, we'll say Melik's here as well, even though Warbucks isn't here. And you see several familiar faces. You see Lady Moonfire. She's sitting in a chair. You also see the Uthgard cleric, Brother Griffin. He is here as well. And also you see Cruven the Brazen, the wizard. And those three are pretty much the main figures of Loudwater. And Lady Moonfire asks you how everything went. She had also got word that you were on your way back to town, so they wanted to meet you up here, and hope you like this establishment for the time being. If you guys want something different, you're more than welcome to have that as well. So, what in the hell are you guys always turning on life and hit points and stuff on these maps that don't need it? You guys are phony.
It's not appropriate. Make sure we know what it is at all times.
Oh, and one other thing, as you guys are heading up to the room, Marsh kind of, as you guys are starting to go up the stairs, she's behind you, and she basically tells you that Lady Moonfire wasn't really too happy about the tab that you guys had accrued the last time you were here. If you guys remember correctly, you guys had purchased a 150 gold bottle of wine that was about 250 years old, and it was very expensive. And Xavier wanted the best drinks in the house, and Marsh actually had a bottle that was 250 years old. So basically, Lady Moonfire wasn't too happy. And then she actually looks at you, Walian, and you kind of look back at her. She goes, "You are lucky that the Lady Moonfire takes a fancy in you." And then she kind of winks at you, and that's. Then you guys finish walking up the stairs. You all are able to test your keys out. There you go. You guys are in the new hangout for your game. Until you guys tell me what you really want, and then I will build one as to what you guys want.
Could you introduce the wizard a little more? I don't think we've met him that much.
Curzon the Brazen? Sure, you guys have met him several times. You guys had Curzon the Brazen. He's basically like the head wizard of Loudwater, and he's not an adventurer per se. Well, at least not publicly. But as you remember, back in our very, very, very first game, Curzon the Brazen, he was the actual one that went into the original High Shaman Sankasog lair and stole the Skull Totem. And then, remember, he sold it to Gerwin at Gerwin's Curiosities. So, and then, the goblins attack the town. You guys save the town. That's how you were introduced to Loudwater. And you found out that, you found the note on the shaman saying the Skull Totem, so and so and so. Then you traced it back to Curzon the Brazen. So, there you go.
Alright, in my journal there's a few things that if we ever go to buy things from the store, there's a little notes in there and shows the deduction of gold and stuff.
Yeah, we'll do that here in a little bit.
Yeah, no worries. There's a little note in there if you wanted to look at it as well on the very top.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it here in a few minutes. So she asked you if your trip was well, and she asked you if the ogre is the one-armed bandit is dead, and if you got your goblin.
And with a big grin, Shamash says, "Yes, we did."
So
No,
did you find
basically,
Alcine? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Wylian.
I'll basically use my bardic abilities to tell the story of everything that happened, but I'm leaving out the whole Cord killing the shaman thing and playing up the other players' abilities and what they did.
Right on. Well, she tells you that seems like you guys had done a good job, and the town does thank you, and in return that This is what she originally wanted to gift you in the first place as a group. But certain things, unfortunately, you guys lost us before you even got to it. So, but I mean, in the end, you guys, worked your, good graces back in with the town and everything. So everything ended up good in the end. So basically, the whole first leg of your adventures is behind you now, and now you're at a new start. So basically, you guys have killed your arch nemesis, well, your old arch nemesis, and now you have something else. You have several things that that needs to be taken care of. You know that there is quite a large child slavery ring going on. You know that Alcine, which Lady Moonfire informs you that she has heard nothing of the whereabouts of Alcine, but the last known location of him was Waterdeep. And remember, several games ago, Stara had left for Waterdeep as well to find out something or anything about Alcine. And then Lady Moonfire tells you that she has not heard from Stara as well. And that's not likely of Stara. Usually Stara her information is usually always getting back. But ever since Stara had gotten to Waterdeep, Moonfire's Brazen and Brother Griffin have lost contact. And actually, the three are worried about that. But she's going to give it a couple more days because there's actually a little bit something more of a pressing issue, sort of like an issue that just kind of can't. What are you doing, Goliath? You're just kind of walking around checking things out.
He's trying out which of these dead animals is the most comfortable to sleep on.
That's all.
That is awesome. I was wondering, he's moving like half a square at a time. That was good. I was loving it. But yeah, she tells you that they've lost contact with Stara. She's getting worried, so she's not getting any information. Stara usually, she always works alone, so she doesn't have a network of informants and other rogue type of individuals that they pool their information together. Usually it's Stara that works alone, and that's what's really gotten Moonfire worried, because this is not like Stara. So, but now that you have, she tells you now that of course you guys have noticed, but the whole thing with the weather, this had happened. She goes to tell you that about a year and a half ago. This is well before any of you guys were, in Loudwater. But he's on the next one. You're crazy, dude. She tells you that this happened a year back, but it wasn't to the extreme as what it's what's happening now. Just the weather, and you guys noticed when you were going to Zelbros on your trip back, you did notice that the temperature was quite cool for a summer's evening / night, but you really didn't think anything of it. But as you come out of the High Shaman Sankasog's lair, I mean, this wall of cold just basically just hit you in the face as soon as you exited the lair, and it's almost to the point to where you could see your breath. So she has a lot of concern, because she is in charge of Loudwater. She's in charge of the the farmsteads and the 20-30 mile radius around Loudwater as well. So now she's having all these farmstead owners and all these farmers come up to her, wondering what's going to be done about this, because the weather is not supposed to be like this during the summer. There's still 3 months before the season even changes. And she basically tells you that Kurazin thinks that it could be the tower that's in the forest. And you guys have a little handout there. actually. Actually, it's what is Drag Tower in High Forest? Yeah, there you go. Dragged Rock Tower. Basically, is the common knowledge of it. You guys, I'm going to read you guys a little bit of common knowledge about it, just in case you guys haven't read about this tower. So about 30 years ago, and this is basically this is Curzon, talking to you. So about 30 years ago, a dwarf warlock named Dragdarok came to the Grey Vale. Dragdarok was part of a cabal of warlock, and his particular research dealt with the creation of new types of eldritch pacts. He believed that the Direwood contained a particularly potent source of untapped energy, which he thought was the remains of a failed deity. And thousands of years that actually happened before the Spell Plague, there was a Netherese city that was called Kars that stood in the area of the High Forest. And this demigod Karsus was basically its patron. And he tried to succeed to full godhood, but along his trials and everything, he failed. So he died in the process, and basically, the city of Karsus died alongside with him. So Dragdarok's research basically was gathering information about trying to find the remains of this lost city of Karsus, but yet he thinks that the actual life source and the power source of the failed deity is actually still here as well, and that's basically why he built the tower. It's a mile outside of the Direwood, and he started doing a lot of experiments and everything. So that's basically the common knowledge, and it's like Curzon. He thinks that he's getting bad vibes as well, because there's no type of magic that would do this unless it was like an evil magic or used for evil intentions. So that's basically the problem that Curzon has. There are several people that know the location of the tower, which is on the edge of the High Forest, and there's a section of forest within it, which is called the Dire Wood, and the Dire Wood is inside of the High Forest, and the Dire Wood is basically I think they're albino oaks or something like that basically cut out this little section within the High Forest. Well, supposedly the castle is close to that, and supposedly the Dire Wood is possibly where this, the ruins of Karsus is. Nobody's found the ruins of Karsus yet, but maybe one day.
Very interesting.
Did you guys go to sleep on me?
Pretty sure I did.
No.
Now, you said that this happened last year, but it was a little bit more moderate. What caused it to end last time?
We have no clue. We didn't even really think anything of it. And this is what Curzon is saying, that it was just like a one-day thing. It was... In fact, we have no clue if that even has anything to do with it. But there was one, back in records, we have one day, a little over a year ago, that the temperature was really cold for this time of year as well. So.
And how long did it last?
What's up, Fairland? Just one day. It was just a one-day thing.
I believe he said one day.
Yep, one day. It was a one-day thing. Sorry, I was pushing the wrong push-to-talk button that I have set up. Did you guys notice?
It's been cold here for a few days now, right?
It has, yeah. On and off. Especially probably for the last 2-3 weeks. But there's, and then Brother Griffin comes forward, and he's basically